Tsushima wasn't a battle. It was an execution, planned, timed, and carried out like a machine. The first arrow doesn't sound heroic. It's just a hard thunk, wood splitting, then another, then 10, then a rain that turns the shoreline into a pinned down cage. The air tastes like salt, then smoke, then iron. And the moment I taste all three at once, I understand something I don't have words for yet. This isn't a fight. It's a planned extermination. My name doesn't matter. I'm not a lord. I'm not the man they'll sing about. I'm a runner. Fast legs, quick eyes, sent between riders, shouting orders into the wind. I carry messages, not glory. And right now, on Tsushima in 1274, the Mongols are landing. They come in tight groups, not scattered, not wild. Their drums hit like a heartbeat you can't escape. Horns answer. Then, like one creature, shields rise and a line advances. We were raised on the idea that war begins with names and challenges. A man steps forward, announces his lineage, demands a duel. Even now, some of our mounted samurai push ahead, proud and furious, expecting the old dance. The Mongols don't dance. They don't answer with volume. A coordinated volley. Not one archer showing skill. Dozens firing together, on rhythm, on command. Horses scream. A rider pitches backward, still gripping the reins like the world hasn't ended. And my stomach drops, because I see it clearly. They're not here to win. They're here to erase. Someone clamps my shoulder, hard. Run to the commander, now. I sprint. Sand grabs my feet like hands. Armor makes men slow, and slow men become targets. Arrows thud into wood. One punches through a shield and the man behind it folds like his bones turned into water. Ahead, So Sukakuni, mud on his greaves, face set like stone. He isn't staring at the biggest mass of enemies. He's staring at the flank, because the flank is already disappearing. Not from cowardice, from math. The Mongols don't surge. They measure. Drums hit. Boom. Boom. And each beat moves a shield line forward one step. Horns answer, and another group slides wide, quiet as a tide. One of our riders pushes out, expecting a challenge. They don't answer with a man. They answer with a wall of arrows. The horse collapses first. The rider hits the sand and tries to rise. Then a second volley turns him into a warning. Sukakuni spits one sentence like it's a curse. They're turning us. And then I see it, clear and sickening. A group of Mongols falls back, on purpose, just enough to tempt our men forward. Our riders chase. The Mongols split like a curtain opening. Behind that retreat is a second line already set, bows drawn, spears waiting, drums counting down. I open my mouth to shout, and the arrows fly. The beach doesn't feel wide anymore. It feels like a funnel, and the funnel is closing. This is the promise of the title made real. Execution, not battle. Their system doesn't ask, can we win? It asks, how fast can we finish? And Tsushima learns the first ugly lesson. Honor is powerful. Until an enemy turns your expectations into a weapon, we try to respond the old way. Small charges, brave surges, personal feats. They respond the new way. Formation, coordination, pressure. Every time we step forward, volleys punish us. Every time we regroup, shields advance. Every time we look left, something slips right. Like fighting a storm with a sword. Then comes the next complication, smoke. Not a dramatic cloud, real smoke. Burning thatch, burning wood. The wind grabs it and throws it in our eyes. The world narrows to a few yards, and suddenly the shoreline isn't open ground anymore. It's rooms made of fog. And inside each room, You don't know who's in front of you until steel finds you. I run until my throat is raw. Hold! Back to the slope! Cover the path! Orders fly, but bodies keep piling in the sand. And then I see civilians. Fishermen, families, people close enough to the coast that the war reaches their homes in minutes. There's no pause to separate soldier from non-soldier. There's only motion, forward, again and again. Fear spreads faster than arrows. We fall back inland, trying to use hills and trees to break their line. For a moment, terrain helps. It forces them to stretch. And that's when the next reveal hits. They don't chase blindly. They divide. One force pins us. Another slides around. Another pushes toward where people are hiding. Like they've done this before. Like we're not the main story, just the opening page. Because Tsushima isn't the end of the invasion. It's the opener. A warning before the fleet pushes on. Which means this isn't only violence. It's a message. Sukekune rallies what's left. His voice cuts through smoke like steel. Tsushima stands! Men answer, because what else can they do when the sea is behind them and the machine is in front of them? We slam into their edge, blades flashing, armor clattering, men slipping in mud that feels warm for the wrong reasons. For a few breaths, we taste hope. Then the drums change. Not louder, sharper, like a command. And their line doesn't break. It absorbs us, then closes. Shields lock, spears jab from behind cover. Archers fire over shoulders as if bodies are just terrain. That's the survivor horror truth. You're not dueling a man. You're trapped inside a mechanism. Then, another complication. A leader goes down in the crush, and the effect is instant. The defense hesitates. And the line doesn't need to snap. It just needs to pause. Because a pause against an army that moves on drumbeat becomes a doorway. They surge into that doorway like water through a crack. Suddenly, we're not a line. We're pockets. Small islands of men surrounded on an island being eaten. I grab a wounded retainer by the arm. He's heavy in his armor, and he keeps whispering, "Not like this, not like this." And that's the nightmare of Tsushima. Not that men die, but that they die realizing, too late, that the rules they trusted were never part of the enemy's world. I stumble to a ridge and look back toward the beach. The sand is dark now, not from storms, from blood. Ships keep delivering more men. Drums keep ordering death. Horns keep announcing the next step. And finally say the thing my body has known since the first volley. This was never a battle. This was an execution. Executions don't need to be fair. They need to be complete. And the Mongols weren't only killing bodies. They were trying to kill confidence. They wanted stories to run ahead of them, to hit the mainland before they did. They wanted fear to do half the work. And fear, once planted, travels. It echoes. So when people later talk about storms and divine winds, remember this first. Before the sea saved anyone, the sea delivered something else. A lesson. A small island learned what it feels like when an empire arrives, with a system designed to grind you down, step by step, without ceremony. And survivors didn't remember tactics first. They remembered sounds. The drumbeat that meant the next volley. The horn that meant the line was moving again. The silence after, when you realized nobody was coming. That's why Tsushima still hits like a punch. Because it wasn't just a fight that was lost. It was a method demonstrated. And once you've seen the method, you recognize it anywhere. Different names, different weapons, same cold rhythm. You realize the truth nobody likes to say out loud. History never dies. It just echoes. Subscribe for more.